Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be using the goodies I got in the March SKetchBox. Anyways, I was super excited to use all of the supplies in the box. I'm not used to using watercolor pencils and watercolors in general. I have no patience for them. I was still super excited to use these supplies though. I thought it would be a happy medium between watercolors and other traditional mediums I'm used to using. Well, I guess I should start out by saying my brush pen did not have English instructions on the back, even though on the site, after I did all this, their example did. I clearly thought it was just a cool looking watercolor brush pen thingy that I showed in the unboxing video. Well, that was wrong, so I'm kind of annoyed that there were no actual instructions for the pen in the box. I think I might have ruined my pen actually, so there's that. I decided to take a sketch that I love out of my sketchbook and just go from there. I was super excited about the size of the watercolor paper because I love tiny canvases. I started sketching straight onto the paper, which I never really do. I always try and use the light board to transfer my sketches, but meh. I couldn't do that if I wanted to use the watercolor block. I started off really light because the times I see people use watercolor, I notice they layer a lot, so I wanted to do that. I was really trying to be patient, but that didn't work. Yeah, I should have also known there was something up with the brush pen when, like, it was not releasing any water, but I kind of was like, meh, and gave up with it at some point. I guess it worked kinda okay for, like, blending on the face. I seriously have no patience for watercolor. Basically, anything that I can't go through with in one or two goes is frustrating for me, so when I went to go layer again over what I had already done, of course it wasn't dry yet, because of lack of patience, and then the color pencil sort of like left a lot of color down. And then I tried to fix it several times in different ways, which didn't work. I completely goofed, and when I took the eraser to try and erase the arm, well, of course it fucking ripped the paper because it's fucking wet paper. I don't know why I did that. So at one point, I kind of just wanted to embrace the super dark areas I got with the pencil when applying it to the wet paper, but it was too hard to lighten in any area once I had put it down. But this gave me an idea for the background. I wanted to have a black background, and I felt I could use my past mistake to get a really dark black. Also, had I used the fucking pen right, that also could have been black. Once I started on the background, I kind of just let go and relax. A lot of the time I try something new, I freak out because I'm not perfect at it, and I think people are gonna fucking judge me. But I was like, this is one piece I'm gonna try and have fun with. And I kept playing around with the piece and just try to do different things with the different mediums. If I'd used the brush pen correctly, I feel like I could have made this piece even fucking cooler, but we live and we learn, right? I wasn't too sure how I was going to accomplish the really fine lines that I love to do in the hair, so I tried sharpening the black pencil, and then they were actually too thick for my liking. That's when I decided to add some water to blend it out. For the rest of the piece, I just started using the pencils, and instead of adding water, I was just using them like normal colored pencils. I think it looked nice on top of the watercolored areas. I think that with more practice, I could really have fun with these pencils. The only thing I wish was that the colors weren't so similar. I really would have liked another color besides purple, pink purple, purple, and reddish purple. I really do love how the reddish pencil blended with the purple pencils though. I had an idea of what I wanted to do for the background, but that kept changing when I was just playing around with the pencils. Eventually I decided I would just do the scribble things I normally do with my sketches. I don't hate it, but I'm not 100% in love with it. I'm not as familiar with watercolor pencils as other mediums, but I think that I've used them enough to know that I don't fucking like this paper. I was so happy with the size, but I used too much water and it was starting to warp the block. I'm not sure if that's normal because I've never actually used one before, but the paper wasn't able to hold all the water I was using. Now, I know I'm impatient, and I think I probably should have given the paper a break, but even with my cheaper paper, I don't have this problem. The water seeped down into the pad too. Maybe my fault for using too much water, but that's just what I noticed. When I went to work on another piece, I actually ripped it in half when I went to pull it off the block. Probably my fault for not letting it dry, but oh well, we don't talk about that piece. I'll definitely still use this paper, but not for watercolors. I think I'm just going to turn it into a sketchbook, and I think in general I might be too hard on the papers I use. I should just paint on like stone or something. I don't fucking know. Overall, I'm happy with how this piece turned out. I really love how the colored pencils looked over the watercolored pencil. I did go back and add gel pen because I like adding little details with them. Besides that, everything else that was used was from the box, even if I didn't use the ink pen correctly, except the eraser that ruined the paper. That was also used. Now to the verdict. We've made some calculations. The total value of this box, according to SKetchBox, is $53.55. When we found the closest prices possible, we came up with $41.66. All the items will be linked down below. Now, we can't find pricing for the watercolor pencils as they are made by SKetchBox, so we left the price as the stated $11.99. I personally think that a lot of these sub boxes say the items cost more than they actually do. When doing our calculations for the paper, the closest thing we could find was the same brand of paper, but the pad had 5 more sheets and it was actually 7 by 10 inches. Well, you could get all of that for 70 cents more than the one we got. After adding all this up, I think I could have made a way cooler box for $40. I checked out some other watercolor pencil prices and they were way cheaper. Derwent went for about $1.25 a piece and the Arteza ones went for about 40 cents a piece if you're getting the bigger packs. I would say overall, I wouldn't get the premium box again, especially if SKetchBox is making their own products and saying they cost a decent amount of money. I personally like a higher value when ordering from these. So far, my favorite is the Palettefull Packs Premium Box. I would like to review a regular SKetchBox though to see if there's better value in there. Who knows? This could just have been a month. I seem to get f***ed when I get these boxes. Either get mediums I hate, or I'm not good with them, or the value is shit. So who f***ing knows? Thank you so much for sticking around this long. I had a great time working on this piece and I hope to be using the items in the box again soon. I hope you liked the video. Let me know if you got a SKetchBox. I'd love to see what you made. If you'd like to see some more of my videos, be sure to subscribe down below. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one. See ya!